Prescott, and I studied agriculture. I was a big soil nerd, and went to Wisconsin one winter to do a sustainable agricultural policy internship, which made me love and miss Arizona more than I ever had before. So I moved to Jerome to fix up an old house for what I thought was a summer. And I ended up getting a phone call to work in the vineyards, and so I started my vineyard career in 2008 working labor, and thought, wow, this is fun. I'm a farmer, I'm doing what I studied, and a part of a growing industry. Turned into a 13-year career. Got to be a vineyard manager for Merkin Vineyards, was the founding director of the Southwest Wine Center at Yavapai.
Woo! Southwest Wine Center, represent!
Woo! Ruben's a graduate, so.
I remember.
Well, and so in 2011, my neighbors knocked on my door, and I was busy with my career at that time, and they said, there's 2 seats open on our council. We really, really need somebody to appoint to our town council. And twice I said, no, thank you, I'm busy, I've got other stuff to do. And it was the 3rd person to call me to say, would you please run? And I finally caved and said, okay, fine, So I got appointed to town council. In the next election, I got the most votes, which meant I was mayor. At the age of 28, I was sat as the mayor of Jerome, which everyone thinks maybe I was the youngest, but I wasn't. And as mayor of Jerome, I developed a friendship with our county supervisor, with Chip Davis. He suggested that I go through a leadership academy. So in 2012, I went through the Flynn Brown Civic Leadership Academy. And Chip has been something of a supporter of mine since then. He's seen potential in me. And so last November, he called me and asked me to run for county supervisor. It was a great honor, but the relevance to this group, I think, is just the fact that it takes an amazing amount of encouragement to bring the next generation into the places of making decisions. And so I'm really thankful to those people who knocked on my door 3 times and who made those phone calls and who were persistent in seeing the potential in me. And so I really admire this group for working to do the same thing for our current generations and for future generations. And I think that's a relevant topic for everyone, no matter how old you are. We should be investing in the next generation. And so that's part of my platform is, to balance economic growth opportunities and new industries alongside conservation and open space and agriculture, food security and water security. There's a lot of balancing acts to do ahead of us in Yavapai County. But I think that's probably about my 5 minutes. So if anybody has questions, I'd love to talk more with you. I'm running in a Democratic primary, which means voting July 30th. It's not November. Hopefully I'll be in the November election, but I need y'all to vote on July 30th too. So thank you.
Woo! Any questions?
Oh, do we have time for questions?
Yeah. Anyone have any questions?
Questions, anybody?
Why are you running for supervisor of Yavapai County?
So yeah, the question of why, I think it's important to realize that it wasn't on my list of things to do. Honestly, I was really happy working on my house and raising my 9-year-old son and living my own life. But the truth is my son's future depends on a vibrant Yavapai County. And when I got the call from Chip Davis, I knew that it was the right thing. It's a service and it's a sacrifice, to put yourself in the public sphere. It's a risk. And so I'm willing to take that risk on behalf of my constituents. Thank you.
What do you see as opportunities for next generation in northern Arizona?
Well, I think the wine industry is a really great example of how you can grow an industry. Here's what I like to see, and here's some things I like about the wine industry. I did not drink when I got into the wine industry at all. I've learned how to drink just a little bit since then. But what's great about the wine industry is that it's low water use, it's a perennial crop,
Yep.
and you cannot export it. Once people love wine from a certain place, it's endemic to that place and it can't be disturbed. So it's a very sustainable business that way. And you can see that in action in Europe. I know you just went to Italy where, you know, families get to pass that vineyard down through the generations. It's not a volatile market. And so that's one aspect that I look for when developing opportunities. When people are short-sighted about economic development, you end up with empty buildings, as you see in Prescott or Prescott Valley, short-sighted things that may not make it into the future. So I think that's an important factor in deciding what industries to, you know, support.
Anybody else? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for your attention.